Hey, what's going on, y'all? Um, so I decided to come back with a video, and so I wanted to go ahead and just let y'all know that it's just usual me in my isolation by myself. I'm not with nobody. It's always me by myself, unless unless my usually my partner comes to visit like every other week. Usually my partner usually comes to visit every other weekend, but well, almost every weekend, but whatever, whenever she wants to see me. but but I'm just here by myself like usual, and I'm not posting this, and I'm not posting a lot. I'm not posting as much, especially for today on Friday. So I'm gonna go ahead. I want to go ahead and take a listen to a song to one of my personal favorite super rap groups, who I know personally. Uh, yeah, there's G.A.N.G. Yeah, they're a super rap group called G.A.N.G. Or originally their original rap group name was Horseshoe Gang, but I think they decided to change it into Shoe Gang. I believe that's what they want to be remembered, or whether they want to be named. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen to this song that they just put out on Instagram. So yeah, so let's take a listen.
You clutching on your clock and I clutch mine too. But I'm not y'all, I look just like you. We shooting in the mirror, yeah. Feel like we shooting in the mirror, yeah. We all try to cope with emotional trauma. I just want hope and I don't want no drama. We shooting in the mirror, yeah. Feel like we shooting in the mirror, yeah. When a black man is lost meets a black man that lost his mind, oftentimes it results in violence because he robbed him as he draws the nine. Without context, they'll suggest that black on black violence causes all the crimes. That's when I draw the line. They ain't tell you the first one lost his job before he bought the nine. The other one lost his daughter to prostitution as she walks the line. They say retrace your steps when something's hard to find. So let's go back to when we lost our pride. Black Wall Street, we was minding our black-owned businesses. They drop bombs on black homes, massacre their own citizens. Now fast forward to Emmett's open casket, we back on some militant shit. If crackers don't act on some civil shit. Gave us civil rights, but we get backdoor innocence. Cause they killed all our leaders, then act so innocent. Now black folks living with the enemy due to integration that don't benefit us. Blacks don't give a shit. The Stockholm syndrome got us spending with the enemy. Now anything black owned, that's gone. Back on some nigga shit. Reagan, in fact, gave us the crack that we slanging the blacks, and that's why black dads got long sentences. Now back home, our women on some black strong women shit. Raising sons alone, but that's why half these sons act so feminine. He about to grab the chrome and hit a lick and ran into his exact clone. Damn, shooting at a black mirror. The sad song still exists. Just like you, we shooting in the mirror. Yeah.
This song is really dope. I like the whole entire message in this song as a whole. Um, yeah, it's incredible. Yes. So I want to go ahead and replay it. I'm gonna go ahead and play it again, and do a breakdown of each bar to give my honest perspective about it. So let's go. So I want to go ahead and rewatch. I'm gonna go ahead and rewatch it and listen to the song, and then each line that I'll describe or talk about, that I do or don't talk about, each line that I talk about, I'm gonna give my personal point of view of what I think. Yeah. So I'm gonna play it again.
You clutching on your clock and I clutch mine too. But I'm not y'all, I look just like you. We shooting in the mirror, yeah. Feel like we shooting in the mirror, yeah. We all try to cope with emotional trauma. I just want hope and I don't want no drama. We shooting in the mirror, yeah. Feel like we shooting in the mirror, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very dope that's a dope chorus. Um, yeah, so the line where the line that in the chorus, the line where yeah, Julius Luciano says, um, which yeah, we're still trying to deal with or cope with emotional trauma. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my mom, my mother, she's still dealing with and coping with emotional trauma too. Yeah, so yeah, but I guess that's still going on today, you know. Yeah, I wish I did have everything in my power to try to do something about this collective emotional trauma that as we as a cult that as a culture that we have as a culture, but you know, but I've also said in one of my posts on my Instagram page, I posted it on my Instagram on Mother's Day. You know, not just my mother, but all single moms everywhere. But all single moms everywhere that you know, if you need more time to heal, take as much time as you need because because I know we all have to cope with something. I know I had to cope with that I don't belong in society just for being invisibly diagnosed on the spectrum. That was also my way of coping with life. You know, that was my emotional trauma. So let me run.
Man, it's long. Are we shooting in a mirror? Yeah, feel like we shooting in a mirror. Yeah. When a black man is lost meets a black man that lost his mind, oftentimes it results in violence because he robbed him as he draws the nine.
Yeah, pretty dope bar, very dope bar. Yeah, I don't what Julius just said there. When I look at the way how violence all this violence that we're doing amongst each other and amongst ourselves, it's to me it's like it really made no sense to me when I started to have a very deep self-awareness about myself. So I'm thinking, why is it that we lose our minds so much to the point where we want to pick up the gun and pull the trigger at people who look like us? You know that's it only fuels and makes profit for the system. You know.
Context, they'll suggest that black on black violence causes all the crimes. That's when I draw the line.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like what Demetrius Capone just said about how one of our own uses that black on black violence terminology to try to make it the sole reason of why we're in this current violent condition that we're in today. Yeah. It's like I stated it's like I made my previous statement. What we're doing to each other only fuels and makes profit for for the system.
The first one lost his job before he bought the nine. The other one lost his daughter to prostitution as she walks the line.
Yeah. I also mentioned before that when I was I've already said it a couple of times on my Instagram that I lost my little sister 2 years old in 1997, and I was 6 years old at that time. I was too young to lose my little sister at that age because a lot of people don't understand that, and they can't imagine losing a child at that age. And even though my little sister never really got the chance to live long enough to blossom, I'm thankful that, well, even if my little sister would have grown up, I'm positive that she would have turned out just fine. She would never do anything like prostitution or anything like that. You know, none of that stuff that will cause long-term negative effects.
They say retrace your steps when something's hard to find. So let's go back to when we lost our grind. Black Wall Street, we was minding our black-owned businesses. They dropped bombs on black homes, massacred their own citizens. Now fast forward to Emmett's open casket, we back on some militant shit. If crackers don't act on some civil shit.
Yeah, I already know about the history of Black Wall Street and what happened to Emmett Till. Yeah, but here's the thing. here's the thing: what a lot of people gotta understand about me is when people look at me, they believe that because I have this baby face or this youthful look, and a lot of people, especially people who are much older than me, they think because I look young, I'm not knowledgeable about nothing, and all these assumptions that they like to make about me. But that doesn't mean I'm not, because a lot of people are unaware, especially older folks. They get surprised, and they don't know that I'm so self-aware, and I know so much because I literally took the time throughout most of my life to try to do a lot of deep search for truth, deep research as far as Black history. If I didn't do the real work to know a lot of a lot of our own history that I know, then I wouldn't be this knowledgeable young Black person that I wouldn't be today, regardless if I'm on the spectrum or not. So what happened to Emmett Till was uncalled for, and the way that white people decided to just bomb Black Wall Street, that just shows that they've always feared our power.
English civil rights, but we get backdoor innocence because they killed all our leaders, then act so innocent.
Yeah. How many of our leaders who are dead today still have loved ones and relatives that are alive right now, that are living, to talk about their history and their contributions that their dead loved ones contributed to this nation? Like, I'm sure that in their heads and in their minds, they're wishing that they could rewind or bring them back.
Black folks living with the enemy due to integration that don't benefit us. Blacks don't give a shit.
Yeah, I also noticed that in the Black community, there's this conversation that we're still having amongst ourselves about having this conversation amongst ourselves about integration, whether if integration really did us good or did us bad or whatever. But and if you get to know somebody like me, I like to listen to people, and I like to listen to people from all different sides, and then come to my own perspective of what I think. But but I still have this book. I still have a couple of books. I've also posted them on my Instagram too. Like this this book from Boyce Watkins, the Black Economic 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. He's a great Black scholar who's been trying to teach us how to build wealth for ourselves, and also still have this book. Still have this Dr. Claude Anderson book, Black Labor, White Wealth. I'm very young, but at first I didn't know who Claude Anderson and Boyce Watkins were, until I learned to educate myself about them. Claude Anderson, he's been fighting his butt off for multiple decades to make sure that not only we get our reparations, but make sure that we're in a much better position if we acted a lot more politically responsible. But I personally think that if we're also gonna make sure that we create a much better, stronger nation, then I think also in the Black community we have to have an honest discussion about not leaving out a lot of us disabled people in our culture, because like I said before, and I'm gonna continue to say it as many times as I need to say it and I'm probably not gonna keep screaming saying it. I'm autistic, whether you want to choose to believe me or not. I know what rejection feels like, and I go through it on a daily basis all the time. If as a culture, if we do not talk enough more about how we need to tackle and dismantle and get rid of internalized Black ableism within our culture, and ableism is just, but even though ableism is not a racial thing, it's a universal thing. But any kind of revolution, if it doesn't include disabled people, any kind of revolution that does not include disabled people, it's doomed. That's what I genuinely believe, and that's how I feel about it. If society does a lot more work on having an honest conversation about the way that society excludes neurodivergent people, whether it's not just, I'm not talking about ADHD because that's not my diagnosis. My diagnosis is autism, and I'm trying to make sure that if we don't have a brutally honest conversation about being more inclusive to people that are neurodivergent, especially if you're on the spectrum. If you want a revolution, you also have to be neurodivergent inclusive too. So yeah, so I think that our collective ableism within Black culture needs to be a very brutally honest conversation.
Black on syndrome, gotta spend it with the enemy. Now anything black on, that's gone. Back on some nigga shit.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I agree with that bar also. Yeah, I just posted yesterday on Thursday of me being at the gym. I just posted me being at the gym, me being on my little break from music making. If there are any Black-owned gyms anywhere, I will financially support it. No problem. The problem is that there aren't a lot of. If you look around the city of Long Beach, there isn't almost any single thing around the city that's Black-owned. Not anywhere. Everything's extremely diverse, which I don't have a problem with diversity, but I also like to make sure that we see us do better when it comes to spending with each other and knowing how to interact with one another better too. Not just financing our Black-owned businesses. It's like I stated a moment ago. If there's a Black-owned gym anywhere, I would definitely support it. If there were any Black-owned grocery stores, which I don't see not a single one of them in Long Beach, I would support it. You know.
Bacon, in fact, gave us the crack that we slang in the blacks, and that's why black dads got long sentences out back.
Yeah, mind you, like I'm young and I wasn't even born during the crack epidemic, you know. But I did do a lot more deep digging about the crack epidemic and how it affected people who live in these poor Black and brown neighborhoods and stuff. And it's messed up to know that the crack epidemic, it hurts me and it disturbs me and it upsets me to know that the crack epidemic was created to make sure that as a group of people the drugs flooded in our neighborhoods to make sure that we as Black people were subdued. And that's a sad reality in itself. I would never wish to poison on my worst enemy. I would never do that.
Calm our women on some Black strong women shit. Raise the sons alone, but that's why half these sons act so feminine. He about to.
Yeah, I know there's way too many boys out there who look like me and they never receive the guidance or don't have the. I realize and I understand that a lot of boys who look like those who look like me, they don't have the masculinity that they weren't taught what masculinity is. And without the masculine, people are not being led. So in order for our society to progress, we have to make sure that we raise our boys to be better men. That's also how you create a strong village. The way our collective village, especially in a lot of our broken homes, this is not it. So it's a lot of work on a lot of single mother raised sons to trying to figure out who they are and understanding what it really means to be masculine and trying to find their manhood.
Grabbed a chrome and hit a link and ran into his exact clone. Damn, shooting at a black mirror. The sad song still exists. Just like you, we shooting in a mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this song. Yeah, so whenever I don't know if this song by G.A.N.G is released or not, but I really enjoyed this song. Just like I've always been a fan of G.A.N.G, King Crooked, and you know, so many incredibly talented lyricists out there that inspired my pen. I probably might start making a lot more videos like this, especially a lot of hip-hop song breakdowns. And yeah, and I just wanted to say that I'm still making sure that I'm doing my best. I'm trying to make sure that I get as many wins as I could possibly get, you know. And when I get those wins in my life, that also gives me the opportunity to create opportunities for those who look like me as well, you know. But I never believe that trading your soul for a quick buck is the moral thing to do. I'm neurologically developed, in because of my neurodiversity. I know that my intentions will always be good. You know, whatever direction in your life that you choose to go will have an impact on people that remember you for who you were. So you have to make sure that you live your life responsibly, but make sure that you never forget people who were always in your corner. Never forget about those who always supported you. Make sure you don't leave them out of your life. Anybody who truly accepts you and supports you, they want to make sure that they see you become better as well. So I'm gonna stop this video right here, and I really hope you enjoyed this breakdown and this video that I decided to make. If you wish for me to make more videos like this, go ahead and feel free to let me know, make a comment, or say whatever it is that you need to say. So if you made it through this entire video patiently, I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you guys perhaps in another video or so. Peace.